So welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Lee Fisher. He's the owner of, and he's also a broker of L.A. Fisher Real Estate Investment Company. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much.
So tell everybody a little bit about what you do and how long you've been doing it and what we're going to talk about today.
I'm a real estate broker. I've been doing this over 30 years, and I do both commercial and residential, and I love the business. There's so much going on out there, and I've just been very much involved with the community. I service Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, many parts of Phoenix, parts of Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, and Carefree, Cave Creek. I've lived out here for most of my life.
You said since 1970 what?
75.
75, so you're a native.
Yes, as close as the native as I think a lot of people get.
Uh-huh.
But so I've seen a lot of changes, but I like being a part of the. I'm a part of the changes as well, and love finding the right property for the right people, and just love being able to put that puzzle together for everyone.
Right now, you work with what kind of real estate though?
The majority of my real estate is residential.
Okay, so you're also a broker.
Yes.
Okay, so are you part of one real estate sales team, or what? How does that work?
Okay. This is what's kind of nice about me, is that when you're working with me, it's a concierge service. You're working with me from beginning to end. The sales teams are nice. I think that it's a nice thing for, a lot of times for the team, because that allows, like the team member is a little bit of the celebrity of the team, and then they have other people working with him, and him or her. And it's a lot of times you'll meet the celebrity person once, and then all of a sudden you're passed off to the people on the team. And with that, you're not getting the individual attention, the individual service. With me, you meet with me from the very beginning, and you're going to see me at the closing table at the very end as well. And I'd like to provide the full service. I like to give every client, doesn't matter what your price point is, whether it's a $2 million house or a $100,000 house, you're going to get the same kind of service from me no matter what.
Wow, so you call that a concierge service?
Yes, boutique agency.
You've been doing this for over 30 years.
Yes.
You also have something that you're going to do as a special for our audience, and I want to sort of talk about that because it's special. And before you came on today, you told me that sometimes people don't think that this is realistic, but you wanted to kind of go narrow and deep on it because it truly is.
Yes.
So what are you offering?
Okay. First off, I want to tell you that a lot of times you'll see in marketing from agents, brokerages, that they'll pay your home warranty or something like that. That's nice. That's about a $500, $600, gift to you, and that's a nice thing. I'm willing to pay as long as your property sells, and this is residential and also commercial. Anything that sells for $300,000 or more, I will pay your closing costs, whether if you're buying or selling. And that's a huge thing, because if it's a $300,000 house, the seller is going to be paying approximately $2,000 if it's a finance deal. The buyer is going to be paying about $1,300 in closing costs. And it's like you go up to a $500,000 house, and that's about $2,600 for the seller, and the buyer is about $1,700. So this is a rather substantial. I don't want to call it a coupon, but it's a rather substantial savings. And with my program, what I'm willing to do is that I've got a website, a webpage set up especially for you. It's lafisher.com/radio, and that's LAFISHER.com/radio. I always have to spell that out because my name is Fisher. A lot of people want to throw a C in there.
Right.
And if you go to that page, you can register. Just put your let me know your name, phone number, and stuff. I'm not going to bombard you with a bunch of marketing or anything like that. That offer I will extend for years. So if you do that today, and you're thinking of buying something down the line, or you're going to help your kids out, they're getting married or whatever, and you're like, we're not going to do anything for 6 months, register now. I'll honor it for a year. And that way, when you're ready to do something, because I realize not everybody's ready to buy or sell today.
Right.
So let's give them time to do that and everything. If you're not very computer savvy, if that's just not your thing, call me at 480-390-8118. I'll pick up the phone, I'll register you, and then we'll stay in touch periodically. If you tell me that you're ready to do something in 5 months, I'll give you a call in 5 months, and we'll take a look at things and figure out what your property's at.
Now, again, I want you to kind of go over something because I heard the beginning of if it was 300,000. Can you explain that again? Explain it, Lucy.
I will explain it. Let's see. So, you want to sell your house. So I'll come over. I'll take a look at it. Let's do some comps. See what the condition is and everything. If I feel it's going to sell for 300,000, then your house would qualify for this. We might list it if where the market is at for your house. Let's just say it's right at 300,000. We'll probably list it a little bit above. Everybody loves to negotiate. You got to make sure that somebody feels like they got a deal. But let's. As long as the property, by the time close of escrow happens, the price is 300,000. If it ends up being $299,999, I'm not going to sit there and laugh and be like, "Yep, you're out." Oh, yeah. But so that's going to be one of the things. But I have some pretty basic requirements. It's just that it has to be in an area that I can service. I need to be able to provide my clients their kind of service and everything. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, they want to be out by Queen Creek, which is pretty far from me. I'm in Scottsdale. It's going to be hard for me to be able to give them the same kind of service that I should be able to give them. I definitely honor the integrity that I give my clients, and I just want to make sure everybody gets high quality service along the way.
The website is LA Fisher, FISHER/radio.
Nope.
What is it?
LAFisher.com/radio.
Oh, there's a .com in there.
Yeah, I'm correcting you already.
So LAFisher.com/radio. So again, LA Fisher, FISHER.com/radio.
Yes.
Okay. Now, they go up there and they register.
Yes.
What does it entail? What are they registering? What do they have to put in there? What they're looking for? What is it that what you're doing?
Name, address, name, phone number, and email address. If you don't have an email address, it doesn't need to be filled out. But just your contact information. That's going to be enough. And I don't need to know all the details. So, if you're buying, or let's just say you're an investor, you have multiple properties, you might not have a specific address. So that's why I'm not even asking really for the address. It's helpful if they know. But just give me your basic information. That lets me know that, okay, this deal is going to be honored for that person, and I make a note of it, and the clock starts ticking for 12 months.
Okay, and he also said that you can call him direct. That phone number is 480-390-8118. Is that right?
That is correct. You got it.
Wow, that sounds like Alex Trebek, okay?
Now, one of the things that, it's like, there's always the call to action. Everybody loves that term. Okay. I'm going to say it's going to be better to do it sooner than later, because I do have in my terms and conditions that I can pull the offer at any time. And the reason I had to throw that in there is that for me to be able to give individualized attention, I have to make sure that my workload is within a reasonable, tolerances.
Right.
So, it's like I'll be able to kind of figure out if everything's going to be happening. But if I get, 20 calls and, for everybody wanting to do everything for, the month of November, then that might be a little bit daunting for me. I might have to say, okay, it's a little bit too much, and I might not be able to, take you on for this, or put you to a different month or something. But I need to be able to make sure that I can give my clients the kind of attention that I want to give.
Is all that information on there so they can see that? Okay, that's important, because you may or not going to remember everything that he has, but there are obviously stipulations for something like this. It's a huge thing.
I keep it pretty simple, but in the first page you got a basic summary. If you want to get down to all the nitty-gritty and stuff, there's the terms and conditions at the very bottom of that. But at the same time, it is a very basic program. $300,000 and up, I'll pay the closing costs, the title fees, and you got 1 year.
Okay, so again, it is lafisher.com/radio. We're going to go to a break.
Yes.
And when we come back, we're going to talk further about some of the different things that you can do for them and what's going on in the market. And I really want to know, too, out there, that when you're talking to $300,000, is that a typical number out here?
That's pretty basic.
Okay,
yes.
that's what I want to know too, because a lot of people not sure. The market's been so crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. Again, if you're not computer savvy, you can go ahead and give him a call. His number is 480-390-8118, and the website is lafisher, FISHER.com/radio. Welcome back. We're talking with Lee Fisher, and he's the owner and broker of L.A. Fisher Real Estate Investment Company. You know, you've been talking a little bit about this promotion. This is a great promotion that you offer your
Thank
clients
you.
and our clients out there. It is a, tell them again what it is.
It's you're calling or going to my website, which is lafisher.com/radio. My phone number is 480-390-8118. You're registering yourself to be able to buy or sell a property where I will, as long as it sells for $300,000 or more, I will pay your closing cost.
Now, before I get into some of these different things of, like you said, you had mentioned some different costs of what they could be, which is tremendous, okay? I also want to talk about the market right now just real quickly, just because, we had talked before you came on, and we were talking a little bit about it, and, it's back, but it's not completely back, but a lot of people want to know, can they get that house price that they want to get?
We are in a good spot, I think, right now, because a lot of our prices mirror around 2004, 2005 prices. A more stable period, a nice gain, but are we? There was one ad I was talking about where they were talking about pre-recession prices. I don't think we want to be there because it was a little bit of a hyperinflated price. We're at a good, I'm going to call it Arizona standard pricing right now. Yes, there are still some people upside down, and there's fewer people maybe in Scottsdale that are upside down, maybe more people, in the east part of the valley or far west that might be upside down. It kind of jumps around. You have to look at the statistics zip code by zip code.
But let me tell you know this
Yeah.
more than anyone. You've been doing this for over 30 years.
Yes.
Someone wants to sell their house, and they all think that their house is the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what.
They always do. They always do. Every improvement, every upgrade they did, even if it was 20 years ago, is the best ever.
How do you come up with a fair,
Yeah.
how do you do that?
But what I do is I look at the comps in the area, and this comparables when we say comps, and look at recent sales. We usually go back about, I usually go back, I don't want to talk for everybody else. Right now we can go back about 6 months. There was a time period when everything was crazy, we could only go back about 2 months. But now we're able to go back about 6 months, look at recent sales. And then we have to look at the condition. That's what's nice about the multiple listing service is that we're able to still pull up the old listings, look at the photographs, and be like, okay, and read the descriptions. Like, this home looks like it's kind of comparable to yours. Or this home is definitely a lot nicer. It looks like they probably put about another $40,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 into remodel. So we kind of have to adjust. We will adjust the prices. But eventually, with the numbers that we're figuring out, we'll come up with a price that seems to work. And then we say, okay, this is what your house, I feel will sell for in this price range. And that's kind of how you're coming up with the prices. Sometimes if it's a custom home, like in Paradise Valley or something like that, you have to do a lot more research. But you can still usually come down with the prices fairly close.
Now, again, you've been doing this for over 30 years. What areas
Yes.
do you practice again?
Residential, real estate, and commercial. And with the residential, it's buying and selling properties and servicing Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, parts of Phoenix, and quite a few areas of the Metro Phoenix area.
Now, the website again is lafisher, FISHER.com/radio. You go up there and you just register. There's no real stipulations on there. He's not going to bombard you on anything. There's certain things that he has terms and conditions on.
Yeah, and the terms and conditions are all, intended to be very simple. There's a lot of language. How attorneys love to have their language, but basically it boils down to the property has to sell for $300,000 or more. The reason for that is that I still have to make a buck, and I am, I'm the owner, I'm the broker of the company. I'm able to show a lot more flexibility than a lot of agents out there, and I'm not having to pay somebody else, the big name brokerages or anything like that. They're not taking a cut. One of the conditions that would be too is if you're doing a relocation or something like that, I would not be able to honor that.
Right. Now, I want to ask this because you got it here,
Yes.
and everybody's going to ask this question too. Okay? I mean, it sounds too good to be true.
It's not.
So okay. So go ahead.
It's a very straightforward program. It's me being the owner, being able to show a lot of flexibility to be able to give extra value to my clients, whether
Okay.
they're buying or selling.
When you're selling a house, buying, selling,
Yes.
when you're working with your clients, this is also important. You know, what's the turnaround? I mean, how, you know, are we doing them pretty fast here, or what are we doing?
I think inventory's moving.
What's the normal?
Inventory's moving pretty good. In some, it varies by zip code. In some areas, it's about 60 days for close of escrow. Some areas, it's 90 days. Others might be just even a little bit longer. But as long as you are priced realistically and you have a good product for that, for that price, you're going to sell it. There are buyers out there. Right now, we're a little bit, low on supply. There's a little bit higher demand. So we're, in a lot of areas in the valley, we are in the seller's market ever so slightly, and I have to emphasize ever so slightly. We're in a nice balanced period. There's some parts of town we were talking about where Mesa's been in the seller's market for a little bit longer. Not super strong, but somewhat. Scottsdale, I think it's around June that we, kind of turned into a seller's market. Again, it's very slightly. It's not where sellers can dictate all the terms like they could at the peak of the market there, years ago, the disastrous period. But it still is a nice properties are moving as a result.
Now today,
Yes.
it's a lot different than it was years ago selling homes. I mean, first of all, we are up a lot, obviously against a lot of competition, but
Yeah.
more than anything, they want to know, what do you do to sell the house? I mean, there's aerial pictures, people are taking videos. What do you do?
I pretty much subscribe to just about every single service website out there that I can get the property onto. And with that, the marketing is the biggest thing. I will not let the marketing start until the full marketing package is ready. I will have your property professionally photographed, no matter what the price point is, whether if it pertains to this offer or not. And I get the package together to where when people start seeing it on the Trulia, Zillows, and all the other sites, or they're getting the listing sent to them from their realtor, that they are seeing the property in its best condition that they possibly can. And it's about having it photographed properly. It's about having good copy. It's about having complete information. If it's got a rather complex floor plan, I'll have a floor plan drawn. Whatever I need to do to be able to make sure that folks understand what that property entails and what it is, I will do it.
And again, your phone number direct, it's 480-390-8118. And the website that he has created just for us is LAFisher, FISHER.com/radio. Okay, so we have a little time here. What else do we want to talk about today?
I would like to sit there and say that, if you are wondering if your home would qualify for the terms, for that, feel free to give me a call. And again, you don't have to be ready to sell or buy right at this time. If you're thinking of doing it 11 months from now, or even 11 months and 2 weeks, as long as we've started the process of listing your property and start looking, I will honor this for a year. And there are some little caveats here and there, really minor stuff. If you're working with a relocation company, those relocation companies usually require me to pay a hefty chunk out of my commission. Therefore, it doesn't work. But I'm going to say for the majority of your listeners, this is going to be a good thing for them. And the call to action is, sign up now. Then that way we can go ahead and do something. But this is a great market right now, and I think it's a good market for buyers. It's a good market for sellers. We're when I say we're at slightly above them, like in the seller's market, that's pretty close to a balanced market. We have a little bit of a shortage of supply and a little bit more buyers out there, but it's not extremes, and we're in a nice balanced period where buyers and sellers are almost on an equal playing field to be able to to make a transaction happen.
Right. Now, do you do consultations with people? Do you sit down and talk to them and find out where they are? Because maybe someone's listening to this, or they can't write it down and they don't call you right away, what have you, or then they call you and they want to find out more information for you, or there might not be, might not know if they qualify or not and they want to talk to you. Can they do that?
Of course, of course. I do this all the time. I'll be more than happy to sit down with somebody, take a look at their property. If they have a portfolio, then we'll take a look at what they're trying to do. Because I've had some seniors that say, hey, I've got 10 rental properties. We're looking to sell them over the next 2 years, and then we just start evaluating each property, figuring out what it's worth currently, which ones are going to go first, and which ones we sell last. And more than happy to sit down and talk with anybody and see what works best for them.
Okay, he gives you concierge service. He's been doing this for over 30 years. You can call him direct. He will do a consultation with you. His phone number is 480-390-8118. And you could go up onto his website again. Quickly tell him that.
L.A. Fisher, so it's LAFISHER.com/radio.
Give him a call. Get 480-390-8118. It's LAFisher.com/radio.
Thank you.